So without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Fadzil Muhammad Faizi.
A food chain is a series of category of living things in which each one of these rely on the lower member of the series for their food source. Whereas for a food web, is the interconnections between these food chains in a given environment. For instance, I give you a situation in a farm where there are plenty of vegetable crops. So these plants, they act as a producer that use the energy from sunlight to convert the inorganic carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into the organic carbon compounds, such as the glucose. So they are now become the source of food for another organism. In this case, we put a herbivorous cow. And now, to make it more interesting, we put that lady over there at the top of this food chain and become the second consumer that feed on the cow. So this lady now has become the apex predator in this food chain as long as there's no tiger around. So bear in mind that Homo sapiens are omnivores. So this lady here can feed directly to on the vegetables at the top, at the bottom of this food chain. So that makes another food chain. Now, the interconnection between these food chains is called food web. Consider the second condition where we have a phytoplankton as a producer in a marine, in a seagrass habitat. So, this phytoplankton will be eaten by zooplankton. And then we have another juvenile fish that feed on this zooplankton, and at the top of this food chain, we have a bigger fish that feed on this juvenile fish. You might think that this is the same as the previous condition that I've said before, but it's not. Seagrass is considered as one of the most productive habitat in the world. So we can expect that there's not only phytoplankton as a producer in this habitat. We also have seagrass, we have fungi, algae, as well as the epiphyte that grows on the seagrass leaf. So those are the potential food sources in this habitat. So on top of that, we also have a zooplankton, in which most scientists would say that this zooplankton acts as the one unique homogeneous component in the food chain, which is again is not true. The zooplankton is any animal that drifts with the water current due to their lack of ability to swim. So you can have a zooplankton as small as the coffee pot in the SpongeBob movie, up to the 2 meters long of this jellyfish in the Atlantic Ocean. So, in order for scientists to study this complex food web, a method should be used. A special method should be used. In my case of study, I'm using stable isotope analysis. So, this is an established method used by scientists for studying the food web. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions, feedback from the judges?
Fadzil, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You from Penang?
No, I'm from KL.
I see.
I used to study in USM, Penang.
Yeah, because that's my alma mater.
Ah, yeah.
So I'm going to be a bit more critical with you. Because USM has a major and minor that's supposed to make you be on two sides of the world. Fadzil, Game of Thrones, do you know? You know why it's one of the most popular TV series ever? Because it has so many parallel conflicts. Where is the conflict in your story? You see, a story has a plot. The plot revolves around a conflicts. But in your story, I didn't see the conflict. I think if we give you 2 more minutes, you might get there, but sadly you only have 3 minutes. So, please consider the structure of a story, because at the end of the day, this is about storytelling. I know it's based on science, but you won't get to the science if there's no story to tell. So that's my advice to you, as we are from the same alma mater. Thank you.
Thanks for the comment.
Any other comments or questions from the judges? Okay, with that, thank you, Mr. Fadzil.